The SAT word problems can seem like a mini novel, right? But once you know how to break them down, they're actually very simple and you can save a lot of time. Today, we're going to dive into a few steps and techniques that you can use when you're reading word questions in the math section of the SAT. And you can also apply this to the English, but we're really focusing on the math section. So let's share my screen here so you can see, well, what am I talking about? So I'm going to share a few tips with you, and then we can proceed from there. I'll do an example question at the end so that you can see. So step one, or the first thing I would say, okay, first thing you want to do, read the last sentence first. Okay, read the last, let me make this a little bit smaller so that we can see what we got going on. But you want to read, write it smaller. There we go. Step one. Read the last sentence. It will tell you as you are reading what you need to be looking for, and so you can already kind of decipher, what it is that you need to be looking for. So if it says if X represents the number of hours worked or something like that, you'll start there because that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for X, what is X? You look at what X is as you're going along. All right, now in step two, right, what you want to do is, and I teach this also in my regular math classes, you want to skim through the question, especially if it's a long passage. Yeah, skim through the passage, or the question. Or what we're skimming through for is numbers and keywords. Okay, because when you're doing your word question, typically there are going to be like keywords telling you what to look for. So you want to skim through to see, well, what are my keywords? Because this is going to give you like what operations you're going to be using in the question to solve. It's going to give you your relationships between your different terms or values or different variables, if there are any, well, whatever you might set. So you want to skim through first to see, well, what is there that's any important or any importance for you. All right. And so next, what you want to do is you want to translate, and this is going to be very important for you. You're going to translate your words into equation, right? So we're going to translate words into equations. And of course, now this is going to be very critical, because if you get this incorrect, of course, your question is going to be incorrect. And that's why it's going to be important for you to do step two, where you are skimming through to see what are my keywords here, or numbers, and what am I looking for in this question. So translating, and this is going to be where you're going to identify if it's telling you, twice the number, add this number, those type of things. We're looking for these type of things so that we can translate the passage into equations. Okay, next you want to label and organize. Now, I always tell students, if you are on, well, even if it's just in a regular math class, you want to be able to label your things. Let X be this, whatever, right? Because you don't want to be just writing things down, and then when you look back at it, you don't know what you're talking about or what this represented. But you want to label and organize. And this also comes into play if you are doing is that right? Organize? No. You know what I'm trying to say. Organize. Okay. Yes. So you want to, if you have to draw a table, if you have to, sometimes you can draw an image. I had recently was in a class that I showed students. sometimes the image is very helpful, especially if you're not thinking it's like this generic type of image. Sometimes drawing an image helps. So you want to label, organize, draw, whatever you can to help you visualize and solve the question so that you're not stuck on what to do next. Because sometimes when you draw it out, you can see, oh, this is what's missing, or this is what I am looking for. So you want to do that. Now, if everything fails, and I've mentioned this before on the channel, okay, if all fails, we're going to plug and chug with the answers, choices, if possible, right? Plug and chug with the answer choices. But you can also plug and chug with just random numbers. So with numbers and answer choices. Okay, so you can do that as well. Now, I'm going to give you this tip. And, you know, a lot of students, when they see a long passage on the SAT, this used to be me as well. In the math section, you're like, why am I reading this epistle is what I call it. This epistle is like a long book. Why am I reading this long passage to answer a small, simple question? They want you to panic. Long passages are not equivalent to hard questions. They're testing to see if you are really focusing, if you can sit, read the question, and get the answer. Sometimes it's actually easier than you think. So my bonus tip would be, don't panic. Just read the question. Read the question and see what's happening. Especially if you followed 1 through 5, you would be able to go through that passage to see what is being sought after, right? And I can also go as far as saying, as you're reading, eliminate the nonsense that has nothing to do with your question. A lot of times there's a lot of fluff in the question, and as you're reading, it makes no sense. Like, on a sunny day, something happened. We don't care about what's happening on a sunny day. We want to know, what do you want me to look for? What am I looking for, right? So you can get rid of those different things. All right, and so that would be the bonus. So let me just jot that down. And then we're going to now look at a sample question that you can solve using these techniques. So here I'm going to just say bonus, right? What did I say the bonus was? Yes, so the bonus is going to be you not panicking. Yes, don't panic. Do not, whatever you do not panic, okay? Actually, they're counting on you to panic. I don't know. You know what? They are not. These people are not villains. They're just. I know. I say, oh, they're counting on you to do this. I do that a lot, but they're not villains. They're just testing to see and to make sure that you can master what it is that you are mastering to go to college or university. So let's do a quick recap. The first, you want to read the last sentence first, because that's going to be very important so you can identify what it is that you're looking for. Then you want to skim through to see, okay, what are my important numbers? What are my keywords here to tell me next? What I need to do is how to translate this into a equation. So you're going to be able to translate the sentence, the paragraphs into an actual equation. And then next, what you want to do is to be able to label or organize the information that is given inside the question. And this sometimes requires you to draw an image, right? And then the last thing is you want to plug in random values and or the answer choices, because sometimes that's easier than to get, all twisted in the algebra of things. And the bonus here, when solving word questions on SAT, you want to what? Not panic, not because it's maybe a longer question or a longer passage. That does not mean it's a hard passage. Actually, they just want to see that you're able to calm down, read, and go through. So now let's look at how to actually solve a word question using these techniques that I've just described. So here is here, and of course, I'm still on your screen. Oh, here we go. All right, so let's make this a little bit bigger for you. So here we have that a bag containing tomatoes that are either green or red. Okay, we need that. But first, let's see. See, you're prompted to read the first thing. It says how many tomatoes are originally in the bag, and it's red. So I would say or caution you on your paper or whatever you're using as your scratch to first note, what is it asking you? How many red tomatoes? So that's my goal here. And it says originally. Okay. So this is what my goal is. Circle it. You can do those type of things to figure that out. All right, now let's see what we have here. Now I'll go through and read. I see they have a ratio. So we're looking at ratios. So I'm going to be doing a ratio. Ratio means like a fraction, typically. And so here we have that the ratio of green. So I have green tomatoes and red tomatoes, apparently, in the bag. And we have a 4-to-3 ratio at first. All right. So if we're saying 4-to-3, this is what it looks like, a 4-to-3 ratio, typically. Now it says when 5 green tomatoes and 5 red tomatoes. So this is me translating this into an equation. And so I'm reading for context to see what is needed as well. So I'm using these things interchangeably that we just mentioned. So we have 4 green, 4 red, 4 green to red. And you see what I said there. So I'm going to put green here and red. Label your things. There we go. All right, so it says when 5 green tomatoes removed means we're subtracting 5. And it says here, the ratio becomes, it's both 5 green. So when 5 green tomatoes and 5 red tomatoes are being removed, the ratio equals is or become, this is telling me it's equal to 3-to-2. Okay. My only thing here, I have this green and red. Now, I don't know how many tomatoes there are to begin with. So I'm going to let the tomatoes be represented by N. So here I have 3N. Here I have 4N. Okay, so my task here, I am looking for red tomatoes. So I need to figure out what 3N is. But before I can even figure out what 3N is, I need to know what N is. So I'm going to put here just so I can remember. Because let me tell you, there are times you will stop at N and you move on. All right, so let's look at this. This is, you can do plug and chug, but to be honest with you, looking at this, it's going to take us a while. So I'm going to just do what we call cross multiplication when you have an equal sign and 2 fractions. What does that mean? I'm going to do 2 times 4N minus 5, and that's going to be equal to 3 times 3N minus 5. And then we're going to solve. So this becomes 8N. I'm distributing this inside. And then 2 times 5 is 10. That's going to be equal to 9N, distributing again, minus 15. So now from here, we want to combine our like terms. And so we want to put N's on the same side. And so let's add 10 to both sides. So what do we have here? 8N is equal to 9N minus 5. Perfect. So now I'm going to subtract 9N from both sides. What does this give me? Okay, negative N is equal to negative 5. And so both are negative, so can divide by -1 on both sides. So beautiful. Some people would come here and they would say, hold on, I don't see 5. And that's why I have here that I'm looking for 3N. So what is 3N? It would be 3 times N, which is 5. So that means I started out with 15 tomatoes. Okay, so Now, on the channel, I have been talking about different ways to save time, because there are going to be times when you come to the SAT questions that you cannot plug this into Desmos. To be honest with you, I tried. I did try to see, okay, how can we eliminate time here? And, it would take us a while to figure it out. You could probably do it, but it would take a while. So again, recapping, when you get word questions on the SAT or in general, you should not panic. That's our bonus here. Don't panic. Longer paragraphs do not mean that you have a hard question. It means you need to focus, and it may even be easier than you think. All right. So again, you want to read the last sentence first, skim through the words to see, what are the keywords, what are the numbers that I need here, write your equations, by reading the paragraphs and translating your words into equations. Organize and label when possible. Sometimes that may require you to draw a table, a diagram, or something like that. And then you want to plug and chug with your answer choices if possible. All right. Until next time, I hope this was helpful. Do like, share, and subscribe, and look out for our next videos. I think you might find the recent video that we did on how to improve your SAT score geometry. We may link it here so you can check it out. But do like, share, and subscribe. On this channel, we do aim to build wealth. And one of the ways we do that is to help students go to college debt-free so they graduate without debt. So until next time, see you.